Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sketching Hour, where we have a guest star, and I am super excited. Only our second guest today. If you don't know who I am, I'm Lauren. I am the content coordinator over at Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, the game that you probably clicked on a link to come straight here for. And I'm joined by two amazing artists. Let's start with our returning champion. Michelle, would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Michelle Papadopoulos. I'm one of the artists at Codename Entertainment. I'm excited to draw today with our guest artist.
And our guest artist, Anita, would you please introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Anita. I am also an artist at Idle Champions, and I'm also very excited. And I guess I'm taking over Alexis's portion of the screen today.
Take it over. It is yours. Claim it as your own.
Just for this hour.
It is all yours. We also have Martin in the chat, who is our amazing moderator, who is going to be helping out in a myriad of ways. One of the big ones being grabbing questions from chat to put into a little backstage document. If you have questions about art, if you have questions about Idle Champions, if you have questions about flowers, any of that or more, go ahead and put question in big capital letters at the front of your question, and he will grab it and put it in a place where I can see it. Because that is my job on this fun little show of ours, is to, chat with you all and come up with fun stories behind the creatures we're going to be creating with these rolling tables. Yes, random monsters are going to be created. Let me pull up. So we gave Anita first shot at which list she wanted, and she went with cute animals. Michelle's doing monsters, and I got adjectives. I've got my regular old heavy silver dice. Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the first dice I ever got.
Aw, that's awesome. All right, let us roll. Ooh. All right, Anita, what did you get?
I got a tardigrade.
Oh, they're so cute. Okay, we got a tardigrade, and then Michelle, what'd you get for a monster?
Dark Mantle.
Ooh, okay. And I got an 18, which is dramatic.
Oh,
dramatic tardigrade dark mantle. Ooh.
Tardigrades are like those sea bears, are they?
Yes.
That's exactly, yeah, the little ones that you hear about that, like, just don't die, that they can get frozen on Mars and then they're still alive. They find them in places where it's uninhabitable, except for tardigrades. And they are adorable little... We were talking before the show about how there's like ugly cute. Tardigrades are the definition of ugly cute. You see them and they've got teeth and claws and things, but they're just so cute. All right. So I'm going to have to change... Oh, should I change the title? I kind of like it that says Welcome Anita, but we've got a thing going on here. Here we go. Time.
I've been welcomed plenty, so.
You have been welcomed. Let's see. I always want to put the adjective first, but what do you think? Dramatic. Do we want Dark Mantle Tardigrade or Tardigrade Dark Mantle? I don't know.
Dark Mantle Tardigrade?
Works for me.
Yeah,
Dramatic,
that works.
Dark Mantle. Oh,
this one's tricky because they're so different. Like,
yeah.
I
guess dramatic.
Yeah, dramatic.
It's an interesting word. Huh.
Could be like dramatic lighting or dramatic colors.
Yeah.
Or give them a cape and just have them standing on the other side, giving a speech or something. I don't know. Let me grab
this one.
So for those who are not familiar with what a dark mantle is, although our Idle Champions viewers who participated in Idle Champions Presents Court of the Raven Queen would know about a dark mantle, because if you got enough votes and collected enough tokens, you were able to get a baby dark mantle familiar. So you might have a dark mantle on your screen right now, clicking away and floating. But for those that don't know, imagine an evil umbrella. Now give it eyes. And and tentacles. Eyes on top, tentacles on the bottom. That's a dark mantle. They are evil umbrellas. That is the best way I can describe them, really.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Oh, and Banana Mobster, yes, Colonel Pest could definitely be a tardigrade. If he was much, much, much smaller, I think. Definitely in the so ugly, he's cute milieu. All right. While we get going and while some of those questions come on in, I'm going to show off some other art. For example, if you missed us last week, I am so sorry because last week was hysterical. We had pastel tulip T-Rexes, and we all learned that T-Rexes are the Easter bunnies of the of the dinosaurs, which makes me so happy. And then we had some fan art as well. Banana Mobster coming in again with another T-Rex and tulip mashup. I love that his T-Rex is bringing us flowers.
Oh.
Flowers and teeth. And then Anita, we've been seeing your fan art, and now here you are, and then here's your fan art. It's
Oh, wow.
you are here twice.
I'm flattered.
Well, we're happy to have you, and so let's go back to the main screen. And hi, chat, how you doing? Let's see. Oh, so J-Dog is asking about Alexis. Alexis is wonderful and amazing and will be back next week. But, you know, everybody deserves a day off now and then. And so this is an opportunity to bring in some of the other amazing artists at CNE. But I will be sure to convey your well wishes and that you missed her. Nixus asks, as Mars Guiding Hand is that soon in the morning that it makes it the stretching hour. I mean, yeah, we're usually the last show of the day, but we can't say that today because there's a little bit of a break and then there's going to be another show happening. But usually I would say this is the stretching hour. I mean, we were all stretching right before the show, right?
Yep.
That actually, yeah, do you either of you do any stretches before you art?
Probably should.
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Yeah, no. I guess we're not taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's never too late to start. So I do know there's musician stretches, but I kind of just figured there might be art stretches. Or maybe just it's a chance to get up and away from the computer for a little bit and actually do a little stretch.
Yeah, that would probably be a great thing to do every half an hour or so.
We do remind people on Paint and Slay, which is our Friday show where we paint minis, on a regular basis to do stretching, because not only do you end up sitting for a long time looking at something, with the minis you can end up kind of hunched over and in awkward positions as you're trying to get them under the light and see little corners and everything. And if you take a moment and realize, oh, I've turned my back into a pretzel, it's good to just give it a good crack and get back into regular form. But since I mentioned that we are not the last show for today, I should probably say why. Yay! Look, it's Dottie! So, just today, we have released Dottie the Dandelion Familiar, played by Hope Lavelle, who is also the content creator behind Penelope Halfpint, who you might know from Idle Champions for a few different reasons. So Hope played this familiar on Monday on a familiar quest, and now this familiar is coming out in the game it's out right now, and net proceeds from all Dottie sales through May 3rd will be donated to a wonderful organization, Conservation International. We are celebrating Earth Day by helping out our planet and a organization that does some really good work. So you've got a little bit of time to go and get Dottie. And if you would like to see more of Hope Lavelle, and frankly, who wouldn't, she will be joining me tonight, this afternoon, in a little bit, at 5 o'clock, in 2 hours from now. She's going to be joining me and Eugenio Vargas, who is also on a familiar quest, and Sean and Trevor, the wonderful people who are also on this channel on a regular basis. We're going to be playing D&D. I'm going to be running a silly game for my 4 friends, and while Hope will not be playing Dottie, Hope will be playing, let's say, a familiar character to the Idle Champions community. I bet you can't guess who that is. I'm good at being vague. All right. With all of that promotion out of the way, we've got some more. Oh yes, and Devil Crayon was just asking, tell us about the extra show. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm always excited to get to run one-shots for friends. I mean, hopefully one day, Michelle and Anita, maybe you will join me for one of those one-shots. Or is
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I do understand there are a lot of people at, not just at CNE, but just in general, who the idea of playing D&D in front of people is nerve-wracking. And I totally get that, but if it's something that you think you might enjoy, then it's super fun. And I am definitely the kind of DM in where if I'm doing a one-shot, unless we're doing something very specific, I'm going to go silly. It's going to be silly and ridiculous and fun and usually involve snacks. So... spoiler alert for this afternoon, there's going to be silly fun with snacks. Bring some pears. Let's see.
Those are the best kinds of games. Snacks and fun.
Snacks and fun, yeah. I have run a couple of one-shots that were serious one-shots, but that was, we had all decided ahead of time it was going to be, we wanted a more serious game. And there were reasons why it worked out. And they tend to not be charity games. They tend to not be the type of games where, like, you know, we're trying to raise money for charity, and now it's going to be a dark game, dark and gritty. Nah. Let me try this again. Sage Tadam asks how to get the familiar. If you are looking to get Dottie, Dottie should be available in the store right now. So if you go into your game, you might have to reload because Dottie just came out at noon. So if you don't see that familiar in the store, give your game a reload and chances are she'll show up there. And she's available for purchase at the store. And she'll be available for purchase for a little while. Until May 3rd is the deadline to have your purchase. The net proceeds go to Conservation International. So while it's awesome if you could go buy her now, because hey, we like to see people excited about the familiars, you got a little bit of time. Cassius 335 asks, so when does Banana Mobster get to guest on this show? I mean, I think they do on a regular basis, right? Here we go. Oh, let's go back here. Ooh. I'm liking where these are going already. I like how both of you have gone for the umbrella cape thing for the drama aspects.
Yes. I think that's probably, like, at least how I envisioned the easiest thing to do to make it dramatic.
Well, I seem to remember that one of the things that Alexis and Michelle have said about this show is don't think about it too much, just go. So go with your gut. Yeah. and you will have fun. And that's the main point of the show, is having fun. Aw, we've got the Trevor in chat. Sitting in while getting work done. Oh, hi. Trevor will be joining us for the Pair Passage game in 2 hours. Playing and producing, because Trevor is a scholar and a gentleman and knows that DMing a show and also producing it at the same time is a lot. It's a lot. Playing and producing is a lot too, but it's a little less than a lot. If that makes sense. So since Anita, you are here, one of the questions we get on a regular basis, and now that we have a guest, we can get your answer, is what equipment do you usually use?
Oh, for drawing. I think it's pretty similar to what Alexis and Michelle use. I also use a Cintiq, I think the 22 model. And also drawing on Magma Studio. So yeah.
So is it the Cintiq is just so highly regarded that the vast majority of professional artists have it? Or is it a really good tablet that just happens to be the C&E favorite?
No, I think it's just, yeah, it's one that seems to be the most popular. It's kind of like, yeah, if you're going to get something to draw on, like a tablet to draw on, I think Cintiq is kind of like the higher end one, maybe. Like, I know there are other ones that are better priced, but I think the quality might be the highest on the Wacom ones. I'm not for sure, but what do you think, Anita? Do you think they're like the highest quality ones, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I haven't used any other ones, so I can't really speak for them. But yeah, I've heard other people use other alternatives that are, within, I guess, a better budget for them.
Yeah.
So Cintiqs are quite expensive. But yeah, I believe a lot of like other game studios, even animation studios, they use the Cintiq. So I think it's like industry standard, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, just get what you can afford.
Yeah.
That is excellent advice. I mean, definitely don't feel like if you're going to get into art that you immediately have to drop whatever the cost of this Cintiq is. Which...
Oh yes, of course. I'll be honest. Before I started working at C&E, it was also a Wacom brand, but I've been using basically a plastic square that you can't see the screen on, and you'd have to like look at the computer monitor and draw. So I've been using that for many years before I started working at C&E, and doing that for like, freelance illustration work and like other work related projects.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been using that. So,
that's impressive.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, honestly, you could just use whatever works for you. So
yeah, you just kind of get used to what you can use.
Yeah. And hey, piece of paper and a pencil is also just as good if that's where you got to start.
Yeah.
For those at home who wonder why the drawing while looking up at the screen is impressive, try it yourself. Try writing while not looking where you're writing.
Yeah, no looking at your hands.
Yep, not even draw. Go ahead and put down a piece of paper and write out a sentence. It's amazing how much harder it is when you're not actually watching what you're doing.
Oh yeah. Oh. Now that I have the Cintiq, I can never go back. So.
Yeah, it's be hard to go back.
Spoiled in a good way.
Yeah.
Oh, and we did actually get a question from Meek Murasau, who's asking, will the show be available on VOD? 2 a.m. is a bit late to start watching. Totally understand. Yes. So all of our streams are available as videos on demand on Twitch for several months. So that will include the D&D show tonight. And then most of them get transferred over to our YouTube channels. And I'll go ahead and put those in the chat. YouTube. The one that's C&E Games tends to be kind of the longer streams that we have, and the Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is very specific, bespoke stuff. And so yeah, if you keep an eye on those. The Pair Passage, I don't know which. I think it'll probably go up on Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. I'm 95% sure it'll go up on that one. Let me put it that way, but I'm not in charge of that. But yes, it will be saved as a VOD. You can watch right away. Just come to our Twitch channel and you can pull it up as one of the videos, or go to our YouTube. The Twitch, watching a stream on Twitch as a video on demand, so that you can still watch the chat even though it's not live, so you can't participate, is kind of fun in a weird way, because it's like watching a sporting event, a live sporting event, and being able to watch the audience reacting to the same thing you are, and so it almost gives the illusion of live. So yeah, I on a regular basis will go back and watch some of the streams that I'm on, mostly so I could see what people were saying in chat, and also just I usually am always checking Is my mic good? Is my camera good? Do I have to fix things? Stuff like that. And so I like seeing what people have to say in the chat.
That's a good idea. Should do that.
It can be weird.
I bet, yeah.
I'm a little more used to it because as a professional musician, recording yourself and listening back to it is one of the best ways that you can really hear how you sound and what you're doing, because especially as an oboist, this might be a little too in the weeds, but as an oboist, I'm blowing into a thing, and so like my head is vibrating, and what I hear includes different overtones than what might be actually coming out of the instrument. So what I perceive as my sound and what I'm doing might be significantly different than the reality of my tone. So I've had to get very used to recording myself and then being able to listen to it back without that initial reaction of, I hate listening to myself, being objective.
Interesting.
So yeah, if you ever do, it's really helpful and informative. At least it has been for me, because I watch what other people do, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, I should do that. Oh, that's neat, I should do that. And I'll watch myself and go, all right, I got to fix that. I shouldn't do that on stream anymore. Oh, I like what I did there. So
yeah, that's actually a really good point.
And I would say you don't necessarily have to watch, like, this is an hour-long show. If you decided to come back and watch this, watch like 5 minutes. Yeah. And don't critique yourself too harshly, because like that can be the other thing, is you'll look at it and you'll just be upset at everything. And
totally.
Just like when I'm playing oboe, what I'm hearing in my head is not what's coming out, and that can be a bad thing. It can also be a good thing. Like what you are looking at yourself and what other people are seeing are different things, and we're just seeing a wonderful person who's having fun drawing. Warlockdeba says, Mars' last broadcast had an idea. A Minsk Boo vehicle. Like a boom-mobile or a Miz-cycle with Boo accoutrement. Okay, props to you for using accoutrement in a chat in a sentence. I love that. Any chance of getting something like this on the list of sketch ideas?
Vehicle.
Yeah, don't we have riding a as an adjective, or is that already been done?
Yep, number 11, riding a. ...
Still possible.
Because, yeah, we could think about a vehicle category. Maybe at some point, instead of adjectives, it's machines. Vehicles?
Oh man, that would be so hard for me. Maybe I'll take a vacation that time.
So I gotta ask,
I'm
why?
not a vehicle person.
Oh, what is it about vehicles that's so much harder than
anything like mech or machines or robots? I mean, that's not my specialty. I like trees and creatures and like organic things, not like mecha. Like it's just not up my alley. So I find it a lot harder to draw.
Yes, that's the same for me. I think we were talking earlier that I like to draw round shapes, and if you think about cars, that ain't the roundest thing in the world. So
do a little Volkswagen Beetle or something.
Oh yeah.
We'll make it a list of vehicles, but it will only be the roundest vehicles possible. Yeah. Okay, it's a bathysphere. It's a car, but it's specifically a beetle. It's an airplane, but it's a cartoon airplane from Darkwing Duck. Let's see.
Or helicopter, kind of roundish.
There you go, helicopter. That's round. Here's the other problem. I'm having a hard time coming up with enough vehicles. Like we could go into D&D type vehicles. A train. I mean, that's more ellipticals, I guess.
Cylindrical.
Cylindricals. Yeah, train could possibly work. We're probably not putting in the Descent into Avernus machines. Those are nothing but spikes.
It could be a carriage. That's also pretty round.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, we've got some suggestions from chat. A blimp. There we go.
Oh, yes. The roundest of vehicles.
You can absolutely blimp it up and then Airship, yeah. Motorcycle with a sidecar for Boo.
No.
Yeah, I guess motorcycle. The sidecar and the wheels are round. The rest of it, not so much, but we're getting. I love how now Star Chaser's like, chat can help you come up with vehicles, just saying. I mean, you know I always go to you, chat, for help.
Yeah.
Hellhound20 says, a hamster ball, but I'd judge you heavily. I mean, isn't that essentially what a bathysphere is, except for humans underwater? So we got a couple of other questions here for Anita, if you don't mind.
That's right.
People asking you some questions. Grumpy Old Putz wants to know, if you can, because once again, sometimes our artists are working on stuff that they can't talk about. What art elements do you work on? Have you worked on in the past? What can you work on that you've done here at Idol Champions?
Oh boy.
And if the answer to that is, I can't talk about it, totally fine.
Well, I know at least three things are out that I can talk about. I worked on Belushi's equipment icons.
Ooh.
I also did Gosrick's equipment icons.
Oh, so you drew all the little bobbleheads?
I drew some of the little bobbleheads, yeah. And I think I did Tatiana's portrait icon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the one that faces forward.
Yeah. I love those portraits. Yeah. The portraits of the champions. They're so cool.
Mm.
Also, my favorite thing about Gosrick was the cart that he sells stuff in that has all the bobbleheads. I am a fan of Rivals of Waterdeep, and that was straight out of stuff that happened in the show. And then just the detail on those tiny little bobbleheads. It was adorable.
Yeah, I believe Alexis did the actual cart. I did the bobbleheads. I think she just added in, which is great. So, yeah.
It's a team effort for sure.
Mm-hmm.
JDog2773 wants to know, Anita, in your opinion, what's the best piece of art in Idol Champions?
Oh boy. Oh man. I'm gonna have to make a confession here. I don't actually play Idol Champions, so I'm not entirely sure. I know there's a lot of art in there, so I'm not entirely sure of like what everything looks like. So I probably am not the best person to ask that question.
Also, you're constantly working on new stuff, so it's another one of those questions that's hard to answer sometimes because it might be something you're looking at now that people are working on.
That is true, yes.
But also, that is totally a normal thing that you can work on a game and not play the game that you're working on. Like, that is okay. We still love you.
Yes. Sorry to burst everyone's bubble.
I love how everybody faints dramatically. Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Oh no. JDog2773 also wants to know, Jason Charles Miller usually includes a musical performance when he DMs. Will you include some oboe in your one shot tonight? I don't want to spoil anything, but the answer is no. Listen, Jason is incredibly talented and wonderful, and one of the reasons it works, for those of you who are wondering what J-Dog is talking about, if you watch Jason DM the Gax Pack, he will compose like a tiny little ditty to go somewhere into the show, and it's usually something like character related or location related that is something he knows is going to show up in the game. It works much better for him because he is singing and there are words. And so the only way I could really conceive of putting any significant oboe in there is if it was background music. And I wouldn't be able to play for very long because then nobody could get story while I'm playing the oboe. So I appreciate you asking. But no, just running the game is enough. I will not be also playing the oboe. Also, one of my favorite songs from Jason is I'm a Magic Boat. The Magic Boat song is by far, I get it stuck in my head all the time. If you go see his any of his streams where you can request songs, someone eventually requests the Magic Boat song and everyone is happy.
Oh, I gotta listen to it. I don't know what the Magic Boat song is.
Yeah, me neither.
I will not sully it by singing any of it. After the show, you can definitely find it. It's one of those nice short little tunes that he composed for the game, and it's funny and it's cute, and then it's also just got this great tune and this great swing to it. It's the best. It's one of those songs that you go, I kind of want this as a full-on 3-minute song.
Huh.
Phantasmic Ghost 2 is curious, Anita, if your tardigrade is going to be holding a flaming skull.
Ooh, that would make it a lot more dramatic. I think I will make it a flaming skull if I have time.
I mean, a flaming skull, or if it's not a flaming skull, then your tardigrade is practicing a scene from Hamlet.
Oh yeah, that's my inspiration.
Also, Michelle, I love that your tardigrade is giving me like Batman dramatic vibes. You know how, especially in the animated series, but in any Batman, in any of the Batmans, there's always shots of him diving off of something and flying down and spreading the cape so that it's the big bat symbol and him going, and looking all dramatic and fear me. And I'm definitely looking at this like this tardigrade is a Batman fan. I love it.
That's what I was going for, but like I don't know if it's super successful, but we'll see.
I mean, that's exactly what I saw. So I think
Okay.
100% you won. You won tardigrade dark mantles. You won fans of Batman who are also dramatic dark mantle tardigrades. Because why not?
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple more questions and then okay, I answered that one. The show tonight will be available on VOD. Okay, so actually, I'm going to turn to the chat because it is that time. Chat, we're far enough into these amazing pieces of art. It's time to come up with how does a dramatic dark mantle tardigrade exist? And as fans of the show know, you cannot say a wizard did it. That is the one we've struck off the list. So how do you end up with tardigrades, which are microscopic creatures, and dark mantles, which are small? I think they're considered small.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, they're not very big. They just do they're kind of dramatic that way. They kind of just spread out like an umbrella. Yeah, I think they're small or medium.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You know what? Before I make something up, let's go to D&D Beyond and go to Dark
I think
Mantle.
they are. Like I want to say that they're the size of a chicken or something, but I could be wrong.
Oh, I
No,
didn't know that.
we are all correct. They are small monstrosities.
Oh.
They are the size of your gnomes.
Oh wow, that's small.
That they are tiny, but once again, this is kind of the perfect D&D monster to go along with dramatic, right? Because I think it's that fearsomeness that makes us think these things must be huge. No, they're just small. They just have big egos. That's all.
I've always imagined them to be pretty big, but I guess I was wrong.
You get like 2 or 3 of them stuck on you like lampreys.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, MT Casson says maybe the tardigrade lives on a dark mantle. I mean, it does seem like these two are coexisting. They are friends. So maybe this isn't a melding of 2 creatures. Maybe this is a symbiotic relationship.
Maybe.
So
How would they grow so big? The tardigrade, whatever they're called.
tardigrade?
Tardigrade.
That's another question for chat. That's a very good question. If we're going to go with symbiotic relationship, how do you end up with a tardigrade that is the size of a gnome? Which is...
I mean, yeah. I mean, they live forever, right? So they could have just, eaten and grown up to be super big. And because they can't die, they're just there forever.
This is what happens with elder tardigrades, with mythic age tardigrades, is they just grow so big that they supersede their microscopicness. I kind of like that. So My favorite interaction in chat so far has been Garwar poking fun at us by saying a wild magic sorcerer did it. And then Rain Stormfur coming back and saying a Garwar did it. Garwar, are you responsible for this? Let's see. A magical spellcaster on the coast did it. Yes. Miki Murasao. Absolutely. Hellhound20 wants to know, do you think tardigrades would survive on other planes like Limbo, the Astral Sea? Yes. I think so. I mean, they've done those wild experiments in where they stick them in space and then revive them. They're just weird, unkillable, tiny little bears. So why not in Limbo? Maybe that's how they grow so big. Maybe they end up in the Astral Sea, where there are not a lot of things that can survive, but tardigrades can survive anywhere. And when they break out of the Astral Sea, they are huge for them.
Or maybe they just, like, since they don't die, they just live for just eons. And they grow so slowly, and then, I don't know.
And then part of their life cycle is once you are 2,427,362 years old, you are big enough to then find a dark mantle to hang out with and become your friend.
Yeah. Aw.
And then the two of you can hunt together and be dramatic. Eknor suggests its parent died and it got targeted by a misfired growth spell. So you're saying this isn't natural evolution of tardigrades. This was targeted tardigrades. That was hard to say. Targeted tardigrades. Gilding Secret says they eat the same food as anacondas. I mean, anaconda's gonna eat anything they want, right? Anything that they can just wrap around.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've fallen so behind on Star Trek, I feel bad. But Volkorian says Star Trek had mycelial tardigrades the size of humans.
Oh.
No, really?
Holy cow, that's a big water bear.
How did they get that big in the show? Curious.
That is a good question. Probably something to do with the teleporters. It always has something to do with the teleporters. Teleporters go wrong, and there's giant tardigrades.
Right.
Welcome, Camcorder. I'm so glad that you are happy to see tardigrades on the screen. We are happy to have them. Oh yeah, so since we're halfway through, we've had some new people joining from the game. The two artists who are below me, Michelle and Anita, are currently drawing dramatic dark mental tardigrades, and we've started to talk about how these creatures came to be. Because, it's fun. Also, if you haven't had the chance, make sure you pick up Dottie the Dandelion, the new familiar that's available in the game, who is, the net proceeds will be going to Conservation International, which is a lovely, lovely organization. So happy Earth Day, everybody. If I'd been thinking ahead of time, we would have somehow come up with 3 lists that were more Earth Day friendly.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea.
Yeah, but I was so focused on making sure everything was comfortable for Anita and making sure I was keeping on top of everything for Michelle, and I was just like, I just need to make sure the this works. Make sure the show works. I mean, we'll say that these dark mantle tardigrades are vegetarian. There we go.
Yes.
Oh. Empty Casson. What do you call a tardigrade walking backwards? A retrograde tardigrade. All right, I am impressed. Water Hornet 84 says, I like their chubby little legs. I do appreciate how both of you did keep in the chubby little legs, because that's half the adorableness, is the I'm not a T-Rex, I just have chubby little grabby legs. Grabby hands.
Yeah.
Because it is fun to watch them swim, because they just doggy paddle in, 6s. Everything is just constantly going. It's adorable. Oh, Gilding's Secret. Maybe the same thing happened that occurred in the movie The Fly. Oh, no.
I love that movie.
It's a great movie, but no. Jeff Goldblum, yay! But The Fly, no. That is that content warning. The Fly. Oof. It is a wonderful movie. It is an amazing horror movie. It is a horror movie. Anyone who tells you it's a sci-fi movie, they're only half right. It is a sci-fi horror movie. Be prepared.
Body horror movie.
Yeah.
I like body horror stuff.
Oh boy.
That is impressive because I do not. And it's, oof. What is it about body horror that's like...
I think it's just so, like... I just like the idea of like experiments gone wrong and I don't know, there's something about it that fascinates me.
I mean, you're not alone. There's
like it could, something like that could be real. Like they could have an experiment that done in secret that we don't know about. That I don't know. It's interesting to me.
Well, you are not the only one, considering the amount of movies that are out there of body horror and experiments gone wrong.
Yeah,
there's a ton of those. Anita, are you a horror movie fan in any way?
Oh, not at all. I get scared real easily, and I think every time I accidentally or somehow end up watching or even reading like a horror related movie or book or comic, I end up getting nightmares, and for a very long time. Like I think one I can remember is I just randomly watched the trailer of a horror movie on YouTube as it was like an ad. And I literally just had nightmares for it for a whole week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, no horror for me, please.
Absolutely. Yeah, horror movie trailers should definitely come with more of a warning than they do. And YouTube, you can end up with some really graphic trailers. So I could definitely see that, considering some of the movies that have been released recently. Also, trailers nowadays will not shy away from just showing you everything going on in the movie.
I know, I hate that.
I thought it was bad when I was young, and then the older I get and the more I watch more movies, the more it gets worse and worse and worse. I saw this trailer, and I went and saw the movie, and the trailer was the movie. I know everything that happened in the movie because of this 2-minute trailer.
I don't know why they do that.
Yeah, it is very, very sad. So I have a lot of respect for trailers and where they don't do that. And I know a lot of people who don't watch trailers for movies that they know for a fact they're going to go see. Some of the Marvel movies that are out there. I have a friend who is a big movie buff who has a couple favorite directors. If a director is attached to a movie, he will not watch any of the trailers because he knows he's going to go see it anyway and doesn't want to get spoiled.
Right. It's a good idea. When I'm looking for a movie to watch, like on Netflix or something, and I'll look up the trailer. If it looks interesting in the first like few seconds or something, then I'll turn it off because it's like, okay, that looks interesting enough, but I don't want to watch the rest. So same kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe they just already have like they filmed all the like cool scenes and they're just like, oh, we gotta add this to the trailer. So all the cool scenes are just all in the trailer.
Yeah.
And then I've seen other trailers where they've put in like alternate takes of some cool scenes. So you get to see a scene. A lot of these are in some of the Marvel movies. And I think recently the one that I saw was for the last Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, in where there's a shot in the trailer that they digitally removed a bunch of stuff from to have that shot in the trailer to not spoil stuff.
Oh, interesting.
So you still see the shot in the movie, but it includes some of the stuff they didn't want in the trailer. And I'm like, all right, that's interesting.
Good on them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the Lurking Rider, Infinity War. The trailer had a shot of Captain America with a whole bunch of people behind him running towards the camera through some woods. And they either didn't put in or removed the Hulk being there in that trailer. So yeah. And I always wonder if that is on purpose. They're planning on doing that, or if that's kind of a last minute decision that I want this in the trailer, but we don't want to spoil that this is happening. All right, VFX artists, go to work painting people out. I'm sure that's super easy. Oh yeah, Irene UK, never underestimate the human mind's ability to accentuate horror. Yes. I mean, that's why they say that if you really want to do creepiness and horror well, you never show the monster. You don't show everything, because whatever your mind comes up with is automatically worse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Eknor wants to know, for the two of you. Now, this is an interesting question because I know Idle Champions has a cohesive art style, but do the two of you know that something was drawn by a specific member of the team by sight only? Or have everybody gotten so good at the cohesive art style that it's impossible?
It is pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. Yeah, like when I first started on Idle Champions, there was 3 of us, Adam, Alexis, and I.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was the 3 of us mainly on it for a bit. But yeah, I think I could tell a difference there. But now I'm not sure because there's more artists. And yeah, it would be hard now, I think. What about you? Do you think you could tell?
I mean, I'm kind of like on the spectrum of I'm pretty new to Codenames, so I don't really know other people's styles except for, what they do in the game, and they all look very similar. So I cannot tell who drew what.
I mean, that's high praise though, right? Because it is that is the goal, is that you cannot tell. That makes me want to do a show. I don't know how we would do this, in where we'd have a bunch of artists drawing the same thing and then seeing if you could pick out who drew what.
That'd be interesting.
Or like trying to be in the same style, like pick a style and an object and trying to do the same style with the same object kind of thing? Or...
Maybe. Or even just, all right, everybody go do a dramatic Dark Mantle tardigrade. And then we're going to put them up on the screen, and can you guess who did which one? And you can kind of, that could be fun. Or in the same style. Okay, see if, you could have some artists who are like, well, I'm going to try to draw in Michelle's style. And so I'm going to surprise everybody.
Yeah, you could try to trick. It would be kind of fun to try to trick people.
Yeah.
That would have to be, what that would be good for? An Extra Life stream where we could have a bunch of people all in the same room with plenty of room on a table, and some way of like, all right, nobody look at anyone else drawing, and then when you're done, everybody put the sheets of paper in the middle of the table. I'm going to mix them up, and then we're going to take some votes, and we're going to see. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
So fun.
Guild of Secret said you could do it here without the tags and try to guess who drew which. Well, so that would be for the chat. That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of like the idea of like, let's get all the artists together and let's see, Fallen artist. Is your art cake? Sorry, I'm just assuming everything is cake now. I've seen too many of those shows.
It is a fun show.
Yeah, I've given up. It's all cake. Everything is cake. Yeah. All right, we only have a couple minutes left. We need names for these creatures. Anita and Michelle, do you have names for your creatures? Or would you like some suggestions from chat?
I would love to hear suggestions for chat.
Yeah.
From chat, yeah.
All right. You have heard these wonderful artists chat. The Lurking Writer is on top of things. Suggests Hamtel for Anita's. Hamlet and Mantle. And then just Bruce. Just Bruce because he's Batman for your special. I love the straightforwardness of it. Just Hamtel and Bruce. I am always a fan of normal sounding names ending up in fantasy worlds. You know, you're playing D&D. What is the name of your amazing, level 20 epic adventurer who has saved the world 20 times? Clyde. Let's see. Nixus is suggesting Leopold. True Wanaheda says Kite and Cloak. And that gets a thumbs up from Camcorder. So Kite and Cloak, I do like those.
It's cute, yeah.
Banana Mobster is going with the let's meld all the words together, and I'm going to try to pronounce these. Tardidark and Mantelgrade.
Tardidark and Mantelgrade.
Tardidark is surprisingly fun to say. I was looking at that word. Tardidark.
Yeah. I like it.
Yes, Barefoot Monkey. It's like Adventure Time. The greatest warrior ever, Billy. Absolutely. Hellhound 20 says, I had a player name his character Cheese. I mean, Cheese is...
Oh, nice.
I was not joking about Clyde, by the way. That is one of my characters from 4th edition. I sat down and was making a character, and the DM caught me off guard and was just like, oh, so what's the name of your character? And the first name that came to mind was Clyde, and I played Clyde for a year until our team TPK'd, and I miss Clyde. He was an amazing cleric of Bahamut and one of my first characters. And
it's a cute name, Clyde. I like that.
Yeah.
I avoided the let's add hyphens or apostrophes to make it elvish sounding or something. I simply just Clyde. Well, now we've got Bob and Hellhound 20 says Tardidark and Mantelgrade sound like Pokemon. I mean,
that's true, yeah.
You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. Well, I really like Hamtel. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Hamtel's really good. I am very partial to Kite and Cloak.
Yeah, that is good too.
They're very.
It's a cute pair name.
Yeah. Yeah, and very descriptive, but not in such an obvious way that it's you went there. Orphabus 2. I don't know if Clyde is better than Melf. Aw, I like Melf.
Melf can be the Skull's name. I like Melf.
All right, I think we're going with Kite and Cloak.
Yeah.
I think that's Kite and Cloak. There we go. I've written it down in the backstage chat, and thus it is said, and thus it is written. Here we are at the end. Anita, how has it felt to do your first speed hour-long sketching hour drawing session?
Oh man, I mean, it's been so good. The prompts are a bit challenging, I think, but I think we both did a very awesome job.
Oh, 100% agree. These look amazing. And Michelle, has it been different to have Anita next to you, or do you get so focused on what you're doing that it's just you look up and go, oh?
Pretty much. I'm oh, what am I doing?
Yeah. I haven't really been looking at Michelle's at all, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
You get literally zoomed in, and then the next thing you know, there you go.
Yeah.
Totally.
And one more question, since once again, Anita, it's been wonderful to have you, and you've now had to go through this gauntlet of doing something in an hour. What was the easiest and what was the hardest thing for you about drawing something in an hour?
Oh boy. Well, hardest is the fact that I have to finish this in an hour. As much as I would like to, nitpick and, add more things, I only have an hour. Easiest? I mean, I think this whole stream was pretty, I guess, nice and comfortable.
Aww.
Yeah, so thank you both, and also thank you, chat, for all the wonderful questions and being so welcoming.
Yeah, there you go, chat. You are one of the best parts of the sketching hour.
Yes.
I would agree with that. Absolutely. All right. Well, before we go, let's give everybody a chance to find more of your fabulous art. We will start with our returning champion, Michelle. Where can we find more of your fabulous art on the internet?
On Instagram at Michelle Papadopoulos and Twitter at Art of Michelle.
Excellent. And Anita, same question. Where can we find more of your fabulous art?
Yes, you can find me both on Instagram and Twitter at Anita Artlets, both the same user handle.
Excellent. And if you've missed some of this show, or if you're coming in late, both of these wonderful pieces of art, I'm going to get ready to drink, will be up momentarily on our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions. I have to drink every time I say it. The Discord has a channel that you can come to that is the Sketching Hour, so you can look through all of the previous mashups of art that we've done and enjoy them. And please come back in an hour, 1 hour from now, 5 p.m. Pacific, and we're going to be playing some D&D for charity. So thanks for joining us, and hey, chat, I'll see you in an hour. And thank you, Anita and Michelle.
Thank you. See you
Thank
guys later.
Bye.